place to promote the growth of Tigres in English through analysis, discussions, interviews, and more. Welcome to the Lautimes podcast. And we are back. As the episode title says, if you're watching live or if you're listening on podcasts, a new season is here. We actually have things to talk about. It's no longer technically the dog days of summer, thank goodness. And we're back in full swing now that the footy is being played. Welcome back to Lautimes, the only podcast that talks about Tigres in English. It's just facts. That's who we are. I'm Dennis, the host. Sometimes, maybe not all the time. The real host is here too. But happy to be joined again by most of our crew. We're just missing Lou Pop tonight, but everybody else is here. So Edgar is here. I don't know those here. And Alfred is here. Everybody's in the house tonight. How we doing, everybody, on this Monday?
Good.
Fantastic, man. Fantastic. Footy is back, even though we didn't play to open up the season. The women's did. So that was great to just kind of get the vibes back up. And
what are you talking about? We won 11-0 versus Morelia.
Dude, the real Morelia that we all miss.
Monarcas.
El Monarcas Morelia.
Man.
Los Canarios.
Yeah, no kidding. It's good to be back with you guys. I've been most of y'all don't know. These guys know because I've been messaging them. I haven't been home in like 2 weeks. I've been traveling for work for a while. In fact, I don't know. They'll call me as I was going to a different spot last week, and I was driving in literally in the middle of nowhere in West Texas, and had to restart the call a couple times. But yeah, it's been a crazy last couple of weeks for your boy, but I'm happy to be back home tonight and happy to be talking about our team because there's a lot going on. A couple weeks ago, we were scraping at the barrel to find things to discuss, and we have plenty to talk about tonight on the men's side, on the women's side. This Legends game that just got announced today, we'll get to that later on. Kits. Leaks of the original. I mean, there's so much we're going to get into tonight. If you're watching live on Twitter and on YouTube, come join us in the chat. We want your opinions. Threedger, we're waiting on you. You're always the one who always shows up. Everybody else, come join us tonight. I'm talking to you, Peter. I'm talking to you, Mark. I'm talking Woodsy. If you're awake and alive, honestly, come join us in the actual call later. Come hang out, everybody. It's going to be a good time. Edgar, you have crafted another lovely outline for us, my friend. Why don't you go ahead and kick us off talking about Las Amazonas?
Alrighty, let's get to it. Las Amazonas are back. Football returned to the most passionate stadium in all of Mexico Sunday night as Las Amazonas hosted Toluca Femenil. Lots of exits are paving the way for a new era, but it was not the best of starts. A homecoming for our beloved Bombi and a bittersweet farewell for Bianca Sierra followed suit to a 1-1 draw. The first goal of the evening was scored by Jenny Hermoso in the 18th minute, and Toluca equalized in the 75th minute with a goal from Lee Sommer. Despite unfortunate results, can we expect more from this team for the Apertura season?
Let's discuss. We'll get to the exits and all that as well, including Ayala's exit. We'll talk about the player exits as well, but I think we should talk about the game. It feels like a common occurrence with this team recently, especially in the Pedro era. It's a tale of two halves where things seem to be going decently well in the first half, and then he decides to make subs, and then everything goes to crap after that. I felt like the substitutions last night were not good at all and kind of killed the vibe of the game. I just don't like our midfield setup currently. We've talked about it the last few episodes we've come on. It's just not a great situation, and until Mari Carmen comes back, it's just not going to be that way. Maria, we love her, but not the best of returns for her. I'm sure that she'll get better, and I hope that we will see her at her very best sooner than later. But definitely could have used a little bit more from her last night, to say the least. But why don't we break down the game a little bit more?
So why didn't have the best game either?
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
First half was rocky.
Yeah, I don't know
Took a
though.
while.
Talk to us about the game.
Yeah, I mean, first half, I think that it was clear dominance, from start to finish. I really like the lineup. We talked about a few weeks what the starting lineup would be. I think the only surprise was Jimena Lopez starting at the left center back spot instead of Greta Espinosa. I think for the most part, we agree that Sabrina Enciso is going to be brought in to be the starting left back, even though there were some question marks around her signing. Even on this pod, we weren't all truly convinced. But most importantly, she was brought in because obviously he was looking, or meaning Pedro was looking for a different type of a quality left back. Having had Jimena Lopez play some minutes there and Nati Villarreal, betting on Enciso coming in. She's starting from the get go. Anika Rodriguez in the back line with with Jimena and Farmer, which I think Farmer is probably one of like 4 to 5 players locked in this season to be a starter at all times. Coming in as a center defenseman whenever she was first signed on, but has been turned now into a center back. And I think it's been a wonderful, wonderful decision there. Who knows? Possibly could even help us there at the center defensive mid spot. But I think she's honestly now, even at her young age, probably one of the top 3 center backs back there. Truly lots of talent, knows how to play out of the back, great touch, good in the air, offensively and defensively, presence, leadership. And so ultimately, backline, not surprised at the starting midfield that we got into with that starting lineup, Dennis. It's been probably the most trending midfield pair between Jenny and Mayor, with Alexia trailing behind them as a center defensive mid spot. Truly think that that's our weakest link at the moment. Not only so much the actual trio of defensive mids, but I'm sorry of the mids, but most definitely Alexia Delgado. I think is the weakest link on our lineup in our lineup, I should say. And then rounding out the lineup, you got Ovalle on the left side, Maria Sanchez on the right side, starting in place of Thembi, who's still out to personal reasons. And then Ordóñez making her debut for Tigres in Liga MX Femenil. So not surprised by the lineup at all. I think that was probably something that everyone could have guessed, especially with Thembi out. Maria Sanchez picking up right where she left off, right before she left on the right wing, when we were playing them together, meaning her and Ovalle. Like I said, start to finish at the first 45 minutes, very dominant, looking to possess the ball, a couple of chances. That goal and that was scored in the first half through a corner kick. I feel that that's going to be a big strength this year with Ordóñez, again mentioning Farmer, and obviously players that we know have helped us there in the past, like Greta Espinosa, even Jenny Hermoso, like with their height. So I think overall, just the first half alone, very good impressions. Could have asked for more, but there's still a lot of rust in terms of preseason shape. And obviously, new players' inclusions, like I mentioned, of Sabrina, even Maria Sanchez coming back to the league. It was a little muggy yesterday in Monterrey as I was leaving there yesterday. So the weather also, I feel like, played a part. And so ultimately, not super let down. I feel like it was an expected result. Toluca is a much better team is going to be a much better team this season with the new signings that they've had over the last 2 seasons. So not very impressed, but not too disappointed either with the result.
I have a question, Arnoldo.
Shoot.
Yeah. Oh, sorry. I thought I was on mute. So obviously, I read a lot about how Maria Sanchez's game wasn't all that good. There's some people are saying that her first half was decent. There's other people talking about how I believe that she and Avaya were switched at the half from one side to the other. Can you give us some insight as to how you saw her and how do you think that she was able to get back in? Um, I mean, obviously she played with Tigres before, but a whole different squad than what she was
Yeah.
used to before.
I feel like there was slight disconnect, and you were able to tell on some passes. Like there were some mistakes, a little bit of disconnect with even Anika Rodriguez out of that right back. Even Alexia She's never played with her before. So I think it's part of it is she hasn't been in great form. And I think that even though she's a fan favorite and she has exceptional talent, she is coming off not her best time in the NWSL. She did well in the sense of like putting her name out there, coming from Tigres, getting that big contract. But it's not like she was running the league. I think she was more of she elevated her game through team play and tactical awareness. I think she brings now a little bit of more leadership even. But I think you definitely were able to tell there was some slight nervousness at times coming back. I mean, even if you've done it for so long, being a professional, I felt like coming back to El Volcan and being at a place where, she's even said herself that she truly was happy during her time when she was playing there. And even like, when she was signed, she also mentioned the fact that she was even losing some of that essence of like being happy to play soccer. So I think there was a combination of like nervousness, even though she is talented on the right side doesn't favor her at all times. So I think there was a little bit disconnect. I mean, as you can tell, like, there's a different way of playing, when you're playing tucked in, receiving the ball because of your left foot ability versus your right foot ability. She did still try to take on some players down the flank and got a couple of crosses in and got some connections. I think she did good with Ordóñez. I think that's definitely what stood out to me is she definitely got along through movements, touches with Ordóñez, and obviously having played at the Houston Dash together. So I think it's going to be a matter of time. I think she's definitely going to bring talent. Is the hardest part is going to be, and obviously it all depends on if Thembi comes back, is how you handle those minutes. Could we potentially see also Maria Sanchez slide towards that attacking mid role and playing behind the forward there and having Thembi? I think it gives you some options there, especially when you're looking to play a little bit more faster tempo and maybe not having to retain the ball with like Hermoso and Mayor in the middle of the field. So even kind of got that a little bit of glimpse also through Cordinali playing there. And we talked about her playing more as a center forward behind, a player like Ordóñez in the past behind Ana Diaz. So I think it gives you flexibility there. The big question here, Alfred, is coaching. Can coaching handle the big responsibility of now having a deep attack, right? And obviously counting Thembi coming back and being part of that deep attack. Because no matter how you spin it, whether you like Hermoso, whether you don't like Hermoso, she's still talented. She still helps you in aspects of the game, even though she gets criticism for other parts. So can the coach handle that responsibility of like having a balanced attack through being flexible with the options that he currently can handle?
I feel like it's just hard for me to understand why after so long that we just misprofiled Jenny Hermoso as a midfielder when she's always been a forward. And I think if you just fix that problem by itself, if you just like have more like youth and more legs in the midfield, it'll go such a long way. Like, yes, she's helpful in some aspects, but I don't especially her and Mayor together. Like, you're just gonna get run over by teams that have any sort of pace, whether it's in our league or in NWSL or whoever you play, right? Like, I just don't understand that, and I hope that I like that idea. I don't know though if like maybe um, Maria comes in and slots in as the 10, right? Just to add a little bit more pace there, or Thembi, like you said. Um, I don't know. It's frustrating to still see that when I feel like that's a very easy problem to fix. Um, like you could slide in other people there, um,
Well,
and
I
I know it's hard with Marty Carmen not being healthy still.
yeah, and I think it's easy to fix, on paper, but at the same time is who do we have? They didn't
Yeah.
really bring in any depth, for a center defensive mid. I mean, all we have is
Or any
Valencia
midfield.
or any mid, yeah, or any CMs or anything like that. So,
You turn a forward
obviously,
into a midfielder.
exactly, and obviously, we did that since last season because of Mari Carmen Rey's injury. But I thought we were expecting and we were hoping to have a signing for that position, and it's just strange that signings happen everywhere except there.
And
I
I
feel
don't
like
mind. Sorry, go ahead.
they're still betting on Alexia Delgado turning it around, being a young prospect and still being like a national team call up. But obviously, it's very evident that the trio doesn't even mix well. You need a different type of midfielder, a very dynamic midfielder, someone that can a disruptor. I almost feel like would be even more appropriate in that position. I feel like Alexia Delgado falls into this like player that can be clean playing out of the back, but doesn't have a lot of high pace. She's still on the younger side, probably still with more even possible growth to happen there in her development. And so I feel like you're just caught in this, predicament where you have a young player who's still marketable in the league. It still has value being a national team player. And I think that you're betting on that while also having another player like Mari Carmen Reyes, who, did so well in that position there, but even that doesn't guarantee that it's going to be the right combination, because Mari Carmen comes in, you know probably makes sense to drop Mayor, right, because it's easier to keep the left footed center mid there of Jenny Hermoso and bring in Mari Carmen, and then maybe keep Alexia Delgado. But again, doesn't guarantee success there. It's definitely the weakest part of the team. And like I said, I mentioned at the beginning when we first started recording, is I feel like Alexia Delgado is part of the biggest problem that we have, in that midfield. I think overall, as a team, the team can still provide very much quality on the pitch. But again, I bring the question. I think it also falls into the coaching. How much of this coach can we see the rise and development of some of these players beyond what we've seen in the past with Mila, Carmelina Moscato, especially with some of the transition of these new signings that we've gotten for the team.
Quick note on two of the absences yesterday. I can't remember which one of the reporters said it, but Themby is out because she's dealing with an injury that hasn't been diagnosed yet. Um, and
Is
Ferral,
she back in the city?
I think so, or she's about to be. Um,
I feel
Ferral has been getting her coaching license apparently, and so she's
that's pretty cool.
she's like taking the test tomorrow or something like that, or is about to take the test, something like that. So
Yeah, she is taking the test. I saw someone said they quote tweeted, she's like, someone's about to pull the pizarriña.
that's so accurate. It really
Um,
is.
Hey, I would be down for it. I mean, Pedro Loza hasn't really excited us one bit.
dude, that would be like, that would definitely
It'd be funny.
rile
It
some
would be
people
very
up.
funny.
Yeah, bro. No
But I
kidding.
mean, I feel like she's over the last 6 months at least even more evident. Like she's, especially with the farmer, like I mentioned, she's definitely being transitioned out, and she's still a leader. She could still help you out with depth off the bench. She could still start if she needed to. When national team call ups happen. So not too much literally to like blame there, right? She's looking at her ahead of her future. So, but pretty cool and interesting that that's also in the works and could be in the works. You know what I mean?
Right.
Pedro Losa could be gone in a few weeks if we don't do well.
LOL. Before we move on, our first comment of the night is from across the pond. Woodsy saying evening tossers. I don't know what a tosser means.
What does that even mean, Woodsy? Like,
Can you
No idea.
explain? Can you please
give
explain?
us some context.
Hey Edgar, you have on here like the club exits. So I want to talk. Yeah, I want you to like get your opinion on that. What do you think about obviously Sierra retiring, Cesar leaving, and Ofelia Solis, being done with the club?
Well, Sierra retiring, I mean, that should have happened maybe at least a whole season ago, for being honest. I think, just life priorities change now that she has a family and someone's got to take care of the babies. Um, no judgment there, just, I don't know what the planification was there, but
And the
regardless,
injury too. It sounds like she never fully like recovered well from that injury that she had.
yeah. But, club player, not necessarily sad to see her go, but happy that she's moving on to better things. Seiza leaving is one that was very surprising and that I'm very against and very upset with. That's a player that was definitely not managed well at all. That could have contributed so much more to this team. And Ophelia, I think, also it was just time to move on.
And she wasn't getting much playing time. I feel
With
like there's
Seiza,
go ahead, Alfred.
yeah, and I mean, just with Seiza, I just can't understand how we kept Jimenez and we let go of Seiza. Like, out of the two, like, how do you even compare? I mean, and it's incredible because you know that Seiza is going to go to a European team and she's going to be a starter over there. I mean, she just is. She's got the talent. She's still being called up by the Portuguese national team. So
I feel like there's more to that. Maybe a family aspect, maybe wanting to play, offer back on the Europe side of things. Just feel like it wasn't necessarily because she wasn't a good player. Like I feel like there's definitely more to the dropping of the player or the release.
And the fact that she hasn't signed with anybody yet, as far as we know, is real interesting to me.
Now, if she signs in Mexico with another team, now that's really gonna,
That's upsetting.
Yeah, absolutely.
that would be telling.
Who knows, man? No idea.
Lastly,
what are you gonna say? Oh.
No, I said lastly. What's on the last part of the segment? Our boy,
Yeah, Huguito.
number
He has
4.
stepped away from his role with Femenil, and replacement has already been named, and it's a familiar face. Talk about it.
That's right. So it was leaked, a day or two ago, and then the tweet was deleted, but it was made official today by the club. Hugo Ayala's leaving to spend time with his family, allegedly. And his replacement is former Tigres player Natalia Gaitan.
Big
I
fan
would
of
like
that
to know.
team.
Do you guys know if Hugo Ayala has actually come out and given his reason? Has he talked about his exit or no?
They said he was out of town yesterday. They were supposed to honor him.
Ya se fue. Ya se fue de la ciudad.
I'm going to share some
It's
insight. I
strange.
met Hugo Ayala last year when we had the Tigres Week here in Houston at the press conference that they held at the Mexican consulate, and pretty cool. Carlos Valenzuela gave us a shout out for doing the pod, and he even thanked me for putting out content. That was pretty cool. That was definitely been a highlight of since the podcast started. But anyways, I stayed after, and that's actually where I met Glenn Davis, and then formed a relationship with Glenn Davis from ESPN.
Nice.
But anyways, I stayed after the press conference with Hugo Ayala and spoke to him for about 30 minutes, man, and got to know a little bit more about his arrival at Tigres and how like he wasn't in the plans to come to Tigres. It was like all after Torrenilo, and how he was more of a package deal when he first arrived. And also like he seemed very proud of his designation to be the sporting club director for Tigres Femenil, and he shared a lot of he was proud that he's like mis muchachas. He kept mentioning that he's like, "Vayan a ver mis muchachas." We got a really good team. So I felt like fast forward into the situation and everything I kind of took from that conversation, and amazing person. Like you definitely can tell his humble characteristics. Just a guy that very caring person. And so now, fast forward to this scenario where he became, or he was in this role, and now, transition out. I feel like it's a consequence of no real planning in terms of like the debacle of like Medina leaving and like some of the players at the time being disgruntled with him, how he managed the team. So I felt like the easy thing was to plug in a guy like Uwayala, who had just recently retired, and a likable player to say the least. And obviously, as you're trying to build the bridge and the gap between the men and the women's fandom, and it's just I feel like it was an easy like bet, and I feel like he was never really in a position of maybe even like truly making the calls and the decisions to be the sporting director. I feel like it was more of a placement
An
holder.
image.
Yeah, a placement holder, an image, somebody that you can potentially throw around at a press conference, throw around, during games, walking around. And so, how much of the decision making did he have with bringing players on and like looking to implement a style, right? Because that's what you want out of a sporting director. Like you want him to bring in a coach who's going to implement a style of play based on the players and the scouting that you do. And so, I just feel like he truly never was a fit. It was just a position to placehold. And sure enough, I feel like even the let's call it the reasoning that the club gave that to spend quality time could be true and could be something that he was definitely looking for, and it may be due because maybe he wasn't even making the decisions that like I mentioned. So not surprised by it, just a little unfortunate because I feel like he took over a position that didn't really necessarily wasn't asking for, and he took it like anybody would. Like if they were in a position of like never leaving something that you've done for so long, and then you get to spend it with the team that you spent for so long, became a club legend, and here you go. Like, hey, sporting director on the women's side, but I feel like if you were gonna give him a role, it should have been on the men's side, like originally he was, and how he got the role of like an advisor, then became part of the Chimas coaching staff, and then they made him the women's sporting director. So I feel like he got juggled, or his image got juggled a bit.
Yeah, I think that's a fair assessment. Any other thoughts about that situation? I don't really have anything else to add to that.
I want to say I'm kind of glad that the replacement's a familiar face, but again, are we going to run into the issue of how much control is Gaitan going to have over the decision-making process? Or is this, just kind of another PR face to have at the conferences, answer questions?
She's got an extreme, good resume. Like, great teams, national team experience, even background of, into coaching and like just overall preparation. The key here is, like you said, Edgar, is like how much is she going to be calling the shots? And if she is, I think it's an excellent hire. Due to the fact that she's a very connected player across the globe. She also has done led a lot of off the field efforts for women's soccer. So I feel like the player connection or the player willingness to like attract players because of her signing could be huge.
Yep, I agree.
I have nothing, no hate on Natalia Gaitan. Um, Obviously, we wish her the best, but I'm gonna be that guy. Why?
You're always that guy, dog.
Why is it another signing from this TMJ agency? Like, I mean, in the end,
Puro
to me, it just
negocio, puro negocio.
seems like, oh, that's just gonna make it easier for TMJ to place their players at Tigres because now the sporting director also belongs to them. So,
Yeah, that's a good point.
but
We'll
no
see.
hate on Natalia.
But also, some of our best signings could have come from that agency.
Sure, of course. That doesn't still mean there's a conflict of interest.
I mean, it's like
That's what happens when you have a business in the States and you have the production in Mexico.
yep.
Yep.
It's like
Gotta take advantage of NAFTA agreements.
it's like it's like the Torrado bit with all of his
Right. With getting a signing from Torrado FC, like, come on.
Yeah.
No, but that's different though. That's like the player came straight from his academy. Like I feel like there's still a little bit like more professionalism here. Even
for
though
sure.
Anika, we're gonna complain about Anika, like
No,
coming
not
from
at
her.
all.
No.
No,
Mari
not at
Carmen
all.
Reyes,
No Anika slander
Agree.
on this podcast.
No.
Maria Sanchez is from that one as well. No,
Maria
I don't
is. I
know.
thought Mari Carmen was from elsewhere, but I could be wrong.
No idea.
I know who else was. I mean, there's a bunch. I feel like we got to add a tweet to this after this pod releases.
Jenny Hermoso's, one of them.
Yeah, I didn't want to. I didn't want to name her because I know she's more of a controversial topic for a lot of people. I feel like she's man, like I was gonna say 50-50, but I think it's more like 60-40 disagreement or approval rating, not on
Yeah.
the approval side.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I get your point, Alfred. I think that could be something to keep an eye on, and we know that you are.
No, not me. I'm just the guy to, I mean, don't blame me for it.
Eh,
I'm just putting it out there.
somebody's got to be the instigator of this group, and we definitely know who it is.
Yeah.
Threedker has arrived. Was Riley TMJ?
Yeah,
Wouldn't
I
be
believe she
surprised.
was. I believe she was.
That doesn't surprise me.
Uchenna? Was Uchenna one? Kano?
I don't know.
Mia Official was? Mia Official
It
was.
sure is, yeah.
Shout out Mia for coming back to this side of the world. By the way,
Hey, that just means she's closer to possibly coming back to us.
that's
too.
right. She's going the Maria route. She's gonna slowly trickle her way back down
Dude,
south.
honestly, man, like a couple of seasons are gonna go by, and like I still look back at her time. Her game was not like super flashy, but God, she was so effective. I don't know if we're ever
Yeah.
gonna see like an effective forward
Efficiency,
like
bro.
that.
Numbers.
Pun intended there with that efficiency. I love that.
Efficiency.
For all late.
It took him. It took him a second to
Took
get
him
My
a
it.
second.
look at that
Um,
syntax coming out on the pod. We're about to be like the best grammar pod for Tigres out there.
I use my brain sometimes, not all the time. All
That's
right,
great.
All right.
let's talk about the men and their first game on Saturday and all the news around roster moves and incomings and outgoings. Edgar, take it away.
Alrighty, new season, new faces. The wait is finally over. Tigres have locked in the newest addition to the Incomparables family. Angel Correa has finally arrived in Mexico, and he's ready to defend our colors. With his arrival, a Liga MX champion follows behind, and there's still room for more new faces on the squad. What can we expect going into the new season?
Okay, so Correa got here last week, about a week ago, had the medical, everything went great, scored in the friendly over the weekend. Every picture of him in our colors looks perfect to me, like already 10 out of 10 sighting in that regard. So I'm already really excited about his addition. The big surprise I would say is the fact that we've gotten a striker, a Mexican striker, kind of out of the blue with Lopez from Toluca coming in, and I know there's some potentially other ones in the fray. Um, let's start with Correa. Just thoughts about his arrival and already making an impact. Seems like the vibes are really good right now with the team, especially now that he's around. So thoughts about that?
Great arrival at the airport.
Yeah,
Yeah.
man. We haven't had one of those in a long time.
Probably the biggest arrival that I can recall, if not the biggest.
Well, I mean, Guignac's was pretty huge.
Nah, dude, it was not that big.
I don't know, man. I can recall it was pretty big.
I think it was bigger, though, in terms of media coverage for Gignac.
Yeah.
but not
as
like
far as,
what
like-
Angel Correa went through.
Okay.
That's what I guess I should have rephrased that. Maybe media player wise, yeah. But even then, I don't know, man. Like, I feel like media is always present, right? But the fans, like at the airport, like that was incredible. Like, I don't think I've seen that since I can recall being a fan.
Well, the thing is that also there was so much built up and so much time to prepare and like everybody was ready because I mean, what we've been talking about Correa signing for months, maybe
Yeah.
since February, March. I don't know when the rumor came out or Cesar Merlo
Sometime in
came
the
out with it.
spring. Yeah.
March,
Yeah,
March,
so-
because April March.
different from when Guignac showed up. It was like out of nowhere, out of the blue, one morning, all of a sudden tweets are coming in. The next day he's showing up in the city, and there was a big reception for him, maybe 2-3 days after his signing or after his announcement. There wasn't that much time to prepare, but they even had, the whole, you guys remember when they had the flag with with Eiffel
Eiffel
Tower
Tower.
Paris, which he didn't like, and because of PSG and whatnot. But I mean, in the end, like there, obviously in this time around with Correa, there was a lot of time to prep for it.
Yeah. I'm excited, man. I feel like we're gonna get a productive player. I talked about a couple weeks ago. I don't think he's gonna be necessarily like a superstar. I don't even think he's gonna have like Brunetta like numbers in terms of productivity, but I think he's gonna be more impactful on the field for our overall play. And I think that his talent definitely, his finishing level is definitely high. So I think he's definitely going to score some goals. I think he's going to be able to make some good connections. I just wouldn't expect him to carry us. I feel like, there's still some missing pieces like we've talked about, and I feel like he's going to be a really good team player.
Edgar, Alfred, thoughts?
I mean, I'm super excited for the signing. I think this is the biggest signing we've had in a very long time. I agree with Arnoldo. I don't think he's going to carry the team necessarily, but you will see an impact, and the numbers are going to be there.
I still disagree that I believe he should carry the team, but nonetheless, I think he's a great signing. I'm actually very excited. From what we've seen, the videos that have come out of training, and even the videos from the goals, the massacre 11-0 against Morelia. I don't know if you guys saw a recording of his goal, and whoever was recording, and it was probably somebody from from social media team or whatever. He mentioned it was just a little bit at the end after the goal. He mentioned like, he goes after all of them or something like that. Like he does, like he doesn't give up, because his goal was literally like he ran and got to the ball like right near the goal. Like he was far away apparently or something. And he was able to get there. So I think that's what I'm most excited about. Just having a player that doesn't give up on any of the balls. It's something that I believe, at least myself and maybe some other people have complained about. Ibanez and maybe some of these other players that you know don't exactly give it their all. And if Correa comes with that attitude and he can maybe get some of these other players like Brunetta and maybe even Cordova to just bring out that garra in them, man, I think that's gonna be his biggest contribution.
Quick thought, real quick. Anybody else really intrigued by the videos from training from his first day, like all the team building activities they were doing? Anybody else catch that, or was it just me?
I saw the videos, but I was like, what are we doing?
It
The
was
games,
interesting. Yeah, like the little, like they're all in a group game and stuff.
Mhm.
That's interesting. I think that's Guido trying to be different in that way, um, trying to keep the spirits
I've
high.
seen games like that in preseason videos before. Like
He
I feel like in
he should be
preseasons, they're
make
like,
he should be making Linus and Marcelo run suicides till they pass out, so they can get better. That's what he should be doing. Not no team building.
Well, they can do it separately. It's fine.
do you guys
Uh,
think maybe just everybody was a lot happier now that Fulgencio's gone?
Dude,
maybe.
I
Look at
feel like I feel like Fulgencio is straight vibes, bro.
Nah, bro, he was injuring youth players left and right.
Bro, ugly haircut, thinking like he's all high and mighty, like
Pelucon, wait.
vibes, bro. Just
Yeah.
straight vibes. Everybody bullies him and thinks he's cool.
That's funny. Um, do we think he's gonna get number 7?
No, dude, I don't know what, dude. I feel like one of these days when I have more time just to like put out like rumors or anything, I'm just gonna start like, hey, we're gonna. Somebody said that we're retiring Gignac's jersey. Like I feel like people just run with things, man. Like they're not bringing that jersey out of retirement. One, because if they would have brought out of retirement, they would have brought it for other players long ago. A
I
guy
don't know,
like
man.
Damian Alvarez, who played when he first arrived at the club, easy would have like been able to like bring that out. Like I feel like if you didn't do it before, like why do it? And I don't think I think it was a mistake to retire that jersey. I feel like for everything that Barbadillo gave to the club, You just don't retire jerseys. Like how many other players across Europe that have been legends and legends, players' jerseys don't get retired. You honor the players, and I feel like, obviously at the time they didn't have the Ring of Legends like they started now, and that's probably because they know that they can't retire everybody's jerseys, right? And
Yeah.
so I feel like somebody just like discussed it, and like I can't even recall him ever wearing number 7, right? He wore 16, 11, and 10 at Atletico Madrid.
Yeah.
So
which are all currently taken here.
yeah, and that's the thing. I mean, obviously, you mentioned Damian Alvarez, and there's been other great players that could have taken the number. Um, but the thing is that usually when players come and there's some planning behind it, like we're looking for a number 9, and a player comes in and takes the number 9. We're looking for a number 11. A player comes in and takes number 11. Now there's really no big important numbers available for him, and none of his past numbers at Atletico Madrid are available either. And I don't know with these rumors. I mean, aside from the one of Guignac's number retiring, I think that one's definitely made up. But I don't know, man. If como dice el dicho, si el río suena es porque agua lleva. There's too many people that have talked about it, and not just all of these like troll accounts, but like you know there's been some traction behind it with some official accounts as well.
Bro, I can't stand
No shot.
the troll accounts, bro. I can't, bro. Like,
Now, now, did you guys hear Cora Isoria explain why Barbatillo's number was retired? He explained it last week.
I thought didn't it have something to do with the fact that he was called for the national team and he decided to stay and play a final or something like that.
Yep. So like he risked basically missing out on the World Cup to stay and play the final with Tigres, and he was the champion, obviously. So he helped us in that regard, and I think that was the reason apparently why they decided to honor him by retiring his number.
You know how many titles Gignac has given us and Nahuel
Oh
and
yeah,
when
of course.
retire their jerseys.
Yeah, and I mean, obviously, in hindsight, we can definitely say, hey, we have plenty of other legends that have done more than what Barbadillo did back then. That is why I think now it makes sense to unretire the number.
I don't know, man. I feel like it's kind of tough to go back on something that you did like over 40 years ago. It seems like. Um, I bring this scenario. Edu Vargas arrived, big time player, number 11, number 9, all his career, shows up, number 26, his first season. So
Yeah.
I don't know what numbers are available.
he could take Ociel's own number since Ociel switched to Luka Doncic. He can be 29. I know he can.
I mean, what other numbers are available? Like,
I mean, I don't know what the significance of a 29 would be for him. So
I mean, I think he would want a number 10 easily or a number 11. He's Argentine.
yeah, but I mean, obviously, Guignac's
19,
is not gonna give up his number 10
19 I thought would have been a good solid option, but Gacelo Lopez took that.
unless if there's already obviously that the Guignac is retiring, and if they have a conversation with Guignac with Correa and tell him, hey, you know what, Guignac, do you agree you're only going to be here this next year? After he retires, Correa can take your number 10. So Correa, hey, it's only going to be 1 year. Take another number.
Yeah, let's dive in real quick. I'll entertain this for a second.
And I agree with you, Alfred. I think that's most likely what is going to
Yeah.
happen because no one, we're going to ignore Correa for a minute. Who on the roster is worthy of the number 10 jersey? Nobody.
Yep. 18 is open.
That's a possibility.
20, 29, like I said earlier.
Which number did Fulgencio have?
22?
No, I thought he had 30 something.
No, I think it's 22.
I think he had 22 in his first stint.
When he came back, I think he got a different one.
Well, Antuna has 22 now.
Yeah.
Oh, right. Forgot about my boy, Uriel Baller Antuna.
Tuna sandwich.
Still warming up.
That's right. 30 is open. 29
Dude,
and 30.
I'm leaning. He's going to take the 18 spot.
Yeah, probably.
Or some random number.
Yeah, 13 is taken.
99.
The new goalie took 13. So
Yeah, 2, 4, 3 is another possibility that's open, but obviously he's not taking that.
yeah, that'd be weird if he took 3.
Pisuto's taking a nice number 2 for like a midfielder, 21.
Wait, what about Carioca's number? What if he takes number 5?
5.
I hadn't thought about that.
Nah, dude, I'm leaning to 18. He's taking 18. Any bets? Anybody willing to take some bets? He takes number 18.
No, I won't take bets, but I will say that Frank is here in the chat. Good evening, everybody. Can Saturday get here already? I agree, my friend.
Let's see what Frank thinks. What numbers Frank think Angel Correa is going to win?
Yeah, Threeger, you too, and whoever else is in the chat. What number do we think Correa is going to take? Y'all drop him in the chat, por favor. 18 is probably what I would say of all the options that are there. 18.
Oh, Fulgencio had 30. It's listed on here.
There you go.
Yeah.
I was
Yeah,
right.
that's what I said. Fulgencio, I think in his first thing had 22. Then he left, and Antuna took 22.
Correct.
Like,
So-
honestly, I hate that Antuna has that number and Fulgencio had it because to me that reminds me of Silvera, Cookie Silvera. I hate that they have it.
Yeah.
Did anybody take 23?
Romulo.
Yeah, Romulo has 23. Yeah.
Now I'm telling you, it's going to be 18, and I'm with your scenario, Alfred. He takes it for a year, and he inherits it from Gignac.
Yeah.
And that's if not like Brunetta is long gone by then, and he slides into that number 11 jersey.
Yeah.
Right.
Or Ibanez.
No, he's not taking 9. 10 or 11. That's if we didn't have Bigon, Correa could have taken 6, and he could have, and Angel
He could
Correa
be
could have taken 8.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. If there's any player that I would like, I think this would be the opportunity to give any player number 7. I'm still down for that.
But he has no attachment to number 7.
I mean, obviously he doesn't, but he'll create his own history with number 7 at Tigres.
My
Fair.
man. Okay.
Fair. I mean,
Like, I would be down for that. I would love to be like,
I don't care
one
for
day
it.
say, we had like our CR7, it was Angel Correa, AC7.
I don't care for it, but I'm looking at more from like, I'll be very shocked if he gets it.
Yeah.
Like,
I wouldn't.
yeah, the concept of retiring jerseys in our sport in general is just rare, right? Like, I can think of 2 that have happened recently. Obviously, one that just happened
Diogo Jota, yeah.
was
Diego.
Jota with his passing, rest in peace. And then Birmingham retired Jude Bellingham's number like last year or 2 years ago.
really?
Which that
Yeah.
one to me is also like, oh, come on.
Yeah,
That's odd.
yeah, very stupid. It was like 22. He wore 22 when it was there before he got to Dortmund. So, anyways,
22 is for the legends.
Tunita. Let's talk about Gacelo Lopez, Ivan Lopez, if you will. He's here on a loan deal. Is it an option to buy or obligation to buy? I think it's option to buy, right?
I think it's
I
option.
think it's an insurance policy.
Yeah, I don't mind it. I mean,
Yeah.
I know that he's not, filling up the stat sheet like that. But we needed a striker, like a backup striker, like last year, especially when Gignac was out, and to have one that's Mexican and is coming from a good situation, I don't mind it at all, because then
And-
like you have nothing to lose.
And you add that Tom Harrison, excellent scout and data analytics person, did a report and a story on him as why it makes sense to, for that arrival at Tigres. I think he led the league in touches and build up, and with Gignac being out, and obviously having more of that style of play and having involvement in the build up play, Ibanez doesn't have anything related to that, right? He's more of a poacher in the box. And now you have a player that can come in and help with the creativity of the buildup, more mobility, more speed, even playing a little bit direct if you need to on the counter. So I think it's options. It's depth. It's option. He doesn't, hurt you for being a Mexican player. Doesn't take up a foreign spot. Gignac maybe doesn't come out in the healthiest of forms, gets possibly injured, you're stuck with Ibanez. You know what that looks like already for a full season. This is another option to have off the bench, possibly even start if Ibanez doesn't do well. So, again, insurance policy and flexibility.
Yeah, I don't mind it.
I was initially mad at the just the thought and idea that okay, a month has gone by and the best thing that we could come up with is a Gacelo Lopez. But obviously, I mean, he's like everyone has already agreed on, and he's not coming in to be a starter. But I will say, and good thing Lou's not here. Might surprise us. He might take Ibanez's spot as our second
Bro,
strike.
you gotta have those signings every now and then. Like we had El Paleta Esqueda, we had Hercules Gomez,
Hercules.
El Quesos Fernandez. We need those players de relleno.
Yeah, bro. Facts.
But I think I like him. Like I said, he brings something different, right? And you don't run into that option that like again you were forced to play and only play Nico Ibanez the entire time.
Yep.
You could definitely tell, like, latter half of the season, like, he just wasn't ever at 100% because he was playing every single minute of every single game.
And you got centros from Antuna and Diego Lainez and Marcelo going into the stands every
Por
time.
eso,
There's
yeah.
crosses. Yeah.
Exactly.
I think I'm back to hating on our wingers.
That's good. That's fair.
I think
you just said legends wear 22. Come on.
Yeah, bro.
Decide.
Off the field legends.
Or are you gonna call them
Off
legends?
the
field legends.
No manches. This guy.
El puro flow de Antuna.
No. Legends at giving haircuts to the youth players.
Yeah.
Hey,
okay. But I do want to say that Linus assist to, I think it was actually Angel Correa. I was like, okay. I think it was, tres dedos on it. I was like, all right, Linus coming down the right flank. I was like, starting off hot. I was like, okay.
Is 15 available? That's what he wears for Argentina.
Oh.
Who wears it? Somebody wears it.
Oh, you know who wears it? Mr. Scholarship himself, Eduardo Tercero.
The pizza man.
You can't take it away from Tercero, man. You can't. That's his number. We're gonna retire number 15 for Tercero, man.
I swear, number 5 at Tigres Femenil and number 15 at Tigres men's side is gonna be probably the most prestigious scholarship that you'll ever see coming across in the playing world of soccer.
Yeah.
Oh man,
that's great.
That's a good guess though.
That is. Okay, rumors. Lots of rumors. Finally, some rumors. I want to start not with Guido Rodriguez because we've talked about him before, and really, who even knows? Joseph Rosales for Minnesota United. It sounds like this is one of the closer ones that could happen. He scored over the weekend, plays as a left back, would take up a foreign spot. Thoughts?
And the great thing there is he could easily wear number 5 or number 3. No problem or debate there what number he wears.
Facts.
Great signing if it happens. Starter coming in, low profile. If it doesn't work out, obviously fans are going to hate on it, but I think he has more upside to disappoint the hating fans because I think he could be a really good signing because it's a player that of a characteristics that would benefit from playing in our league. Physical, fast, being able to defend, obviously in the line of 3 as we're going to possibly look to play there. And I think he could bring a lot of offensive punch down the left flank and a true left back at that position or left wing back that you haven't had in the last couple of seasons. So I think it would be an excellent signing.
You two on the bottom, thoughts?
I want to hear from Edgar first.
I think it would be good. I think it would be very interesting and something that would shake up the team a little bit.
So, obviously it would be a good signing, but what concerns me the most is that what this rumor has been on for over 2 weeks is an MLS player young, from not a relevant team. He's Honduran. How have we not been able to close him? Like, how difficult is it? Like Guido Rodriguez, okay, I understand. Like that's a hard bargain. That's a hard negotiation. Get him to come back from Europe. Blah blah blah. You know, high numbers. He's still in the selección or whatever. But like even for this player, I mean, for Honduras, like if he comes to Tigres, like that even gives him, more rep, to be able to get call ups for his selección. So like what the player should not be doubting, going to Tigres. The money that Minnesota would receive, they shouldn't be doubting. So what's the holdup? I don't
Two
know. I'm
Well,
things.
I'm I'm starting to think that there's
well, I
I'm
think
starting to think that there's no legs to it.
the counter that I have to you saying that they're not a relevant team is that they are currently sitting in second place in the Western Conference and fourth place in the entire league. They've actually had a very strong season so far, and that may be a hard sell for their team to let go of their starting left back.
And you have the Gold Cup, so really couldn't make that happen. I know it's over now. The season is still ongoing now that he just made that point of being the second place team. And I think that he also liked a picture or a tweet for like that Tigres football account, like basically alluding to like hurry up and sign him, and he liked it. I honestly think it's just a matter of time. I really think it's just. And Guido Pizarro
I hope
mentioned it. At
so.
the press, Guido Pizarro mentioned it at the press conference, saying that I hope it happens. Kind of like the same thing he said about Angel Correa. It happened. I think it's more of a timing issue, not so much. That no, they haven't been able to sign it.
Speaking of left-sided defenders, the newest rumor that came out today was Tigres and Tijuana are in negotiations for Alejandro Gomez, who plays for Cholos. We do have some insight from our lovely friend Lou, who said in our little group chat he would play as a left stopper. He's a good 1v1 defender, but not great in the air. Has a good foot and reads the game well, so he would help when playing out of the back. He's a solid passer and would probably be a good bet, a player that would likely grow in our squad.
And you know who developed him? Mr.
Who
Rotaciones himself, Osorio.
Profe!
It's a bet.
was he? I thought he came from like previously from like Atlas and
Yeah,
Santos or something
he
like
was at
that.
Atlas. He's a canterano from Atlas, but he got some playing time under Rotaciones Osorio. I think that I honestly can't say like, oh my god, this guy's a perfect fit. This is what's what we needed. Do we have backups outside Joaquin Angulo and Purata?
Not
And
really.
Rafa,
Angulo's injured.
yeah, Rafa Guerrero is coming back from an ACL injury. Hasn't even like made
We
his
have
debut.
Tercero.
Who's sometimes a right outside back, sometimes a center back. I mean, it doesn't hurt. Like
Yeah,
I be willing to get surprised.
I'd be happy with this signing. It almost seems like it's the defensive version of a Gacelo.
Yep, yep.
Depth piece. Yep.
Good point there.
Okay, let's circle back to Guido Rodriguez. A West Ham Twitter account, one of those big fan accounts, tweeted out the other day that there had been an agreement set, but there's like no source to that like at all from either side from England. I've done a lot of my research on the England side. There's been nothing there, and then obviously none of our people have reported it. And also them saying, "Oh, he'd be sold for 2 million" is kind of ridiculous. Like I think West Ham would probably want at least closer to
Five,
10.
six. Yeah, or maybe
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, closer to but yeah, probably 5 or 6. He he doesn't make sense in the West Ham team at all. Like the way that they play with Graham Potter now that he's their coach, um, it makes total sense as to why he would want to leave. At least that situation. But I have also understand that he is very keen on still staying in Europe for the time being. Um, so I would love him. I think obviously he would be a killer addition to the squad um, in a position of need. I just am of all of these people we've talked about, I'm the most doubtful about him. Even though I think that it'd be a really good addition.
There's something you said there that's key. He wants to stay in Europe, or a couple of things that are key. That part, also the fact that he doesn't fit at the West Ham team anymore. So, is it somebody that could possibly come immediately? Absolutely not. Is it somebody that can come closer to the end of the transfer window? Absolutely yes. I think it's going to be a domino effect of his potential signings abroad. I think if it's about a last minute decision and you're taking into consideration wealth, you're taking into consideration comfortability in terms of like a country that you've played in the past. If you're talking about even further camaraderie, having played with fellow World Cup champion Angel Correa, having played with Nahuel Guzman, Guido Pizarro on the national team, understanding what Tigres is, I think that's closer to being a more possible signing. Talk to me closer to the end of August, and he's still in limbo. I would even be more certain that that signing happens. Right now in July, I feel like it's a very 10 to 20% signing happening, but due more to the fact of the timing. I think, like you mentioned, he wants to stay in Europe, and who wouldn't, right? Like, he still thinks that he can compete, and he doesn't think that it's time to move back to a country that he played at and having been successful at Club America. So, talk to me in August.
Fair. You too, Alfred, Edgar. Any additional thoughts to that?
Alfred.
I don't know. I don't see why beg for this player. Like, yeah, he's a good player. But if he's if his mind is set in Europe, and he's thinking, oh, as a last option, if nobody else comes for me from Europe, I'll go to Tigres. Like, I mean, do we really want to play with that attitude coming here? I mean, because Correa could have stayed at Europe too, but he clearly wanted to come to Tigres. I'd rather have that type of player.
Another thing, Dan, you get those two players. Rosales takes number 3. Guido takes number 5. We're back. We are back. You get those two players. Let me go ahead and line up at the end for the two jerseys real quick.
But we haven't discussed the most important fact. In order for us to get those two players, who's leaving?
Yes.
We gotta let go of one foreigner, and it's either Romulo or Ibanez.
Yeah.
Both of them. Let both of them go.
Dang.
Both would be ideal, but one has a better market to offload, which is Romulo.
Yeah.
You think Romulo has a better market than Ibanez?
Yeah, because you have the Brazilian league. You have the Brazilian league and the Mexican league.
Yeah, and he's younger. Ibanez is like 30.
You can loan him out and take the salary, I guess, hit for a guy like Guido to come in and plug in immediately. Yeah. Oh my God, we're talking about two Argentines in the middle with a Uruguayan, and one doesn't have to do the defensive things that has been asked to do in Nando, and then we can really judge Nando Gorriaran's effort and productivity, because there wouldn't be any more excuses as to his productivity being high, because he would play in a higher position. Oof, we're talking some magic there, possibly. But
it would be exciting.
Again, back to the August part. Talk to me in August. I think I differ a little bit there with you, Alfred. I think at the end of the day, he's a professional. He had a really good career at Xolos, a good career at Club America, and there's a reason he was called to the national team, even competing with some of the players at the highest level that were in Europe, and him being in the Mexican league. So I think he would be a true professional no matter what. I just think it's a matter of like desires. And he knows what Mexico's like already. It could just be that, like, hey, I like Europe a lot, and I would like to stick in Europe maybe for a year, and then maybe after that I'd go back to Mexico. I could easily see that's the conversation happening in his head. But ultimately, at the end of the day, is money talks, and if he doesn't have any suitors in terms of like his market has definitely declined, because he barely played any minutes this last season, so. Could be a possibility there. So, like I said, that happens. Number 3, number 5 are taking, and number 18, we are back.
I will say this too, just in general, when we're thinking about all these transfers, you got to remember we are entering a World Cup year. So a lot of these guys, when they're thinking about where they want to go, they're thinking about, oh, I want to be in the best shape possible so that I can be in the best possible position to be picked for the World Cup a year from now. And I think that specifically applies more than anybody with Guido Rodriguez. So um, we'll see what happens. I would love for him to come, but I think
Dude, at the end of
you're
the
right.
day, we're humans, man. We pursue our desires.
Exactly. Exactly. Now, one departure that has been made known to us is the departure of Juan Raimundo Fulgencio to Juarez. However, I don't think there was any report on the money on that.
Bro,
Vladdy
who
didn't say that.
cares? Somebody bought
We
him. It wasn't
paid.
a loan.
We
Yeah.
paid
Somebody
for them to
paid.
take him.
Yeah.
Somebody paid money to take this player. That's amazing. No loan, no,
Yeah,
no
permanent.
option, nothing. Just straight
Hey,
cash.
if you really want to know the amount, just hit up Woodsy. He created a new group with all the Juarez people, and he's a new Juarez fan over there now. So
Ah,
I'm sure he's got the intel.
that's funny.
If you had to guess, though, put a number on the transfer.
2 mil.
Two?
Million
One.
and a half.
I was gonna say two, Alfred, but now I'm thinking just for the sake of comedy relief here. I think it was more like three.
Hombre, can
A
you
big,
imagine if
a big
it
bump,
was
a big
three?
bump, a big one
Bro,
million bump.
I mean, if it were that high, honestly, like Juarez, we owe them something. Like
Dude, we gotta ask.
hey, let's lose on Saturday to them. Just out of being
Oh, on
grateful.
top of that, we already get a homecoming. Oh, that's lovely. My man's gonna score a Puskas on us,
ay, no, hombre, Dios mío. La ley de X.
bro.
Good
He
grief.
scored
I
a
mean,
Puskas nominee on us when he was at Atlas.
That's true. He did.
or at the least, he's gonna be provoking everybody in the stands. You know
Oh
that
yeah,
for sure.
Facts. Facts. What's going to be the funnier match when we play them and when we have to play against him, or when we have to play against Orey now that he's at Pachuca?
bro. I'm looking forward to Orey playing, man. Big fan of Luis Quinones. Big fan.
Fair. That's all the roster news, right?
It's funny, man, how these players like they live rent free in our heads. Like
Yeah.
Facts.
we can't have a pod without mentioning Luis Quinones and
Nope.
Fulgencio.
Bro,
Facts.
it's because they were so entertaining, whether for the good or the bad, to watch them play. How many times did you have fun times like seeing Luis Quinones make a great assist? And how many
Cañones.
times did you have a good time like how awful he was on the pitch? Like
Facts.
at that point it's delusional comic relief, bro.
Facts.
A high belief, and some people call it insanity. And so big fan of personalities like that.
Yeah. Um, Going down the outline real quick, the Morelia friendly, we've already kind of mentioned it. The only other comment I want to say is that seeing Gignac score again made me happy. And
And a heck of a goal. One of them
oh,
was
one of them was really good.
beautiful.
Though the second one I think was the one that was really good.
What would you call that shot? Right, it's not a full volley. It's like
Yeah, it's a
it's off of
volley.
a bounce. Is it a volley?
Yeah.
I mean,
I
I
mean, you
feel like
catch the ball in the air. It's a
he
volley.
drags but it came off of a bounce though. Like he didn't
Yeah.
catch it in the air,
Yeah.
and that was what makes it even nicer because he pulls his foot back to make contact.
Yeah.
Bro,
I
try
love
seeing
it.
Nico Ibanez do that out of the stadium like clever boss.
No, he'd probably trip and injure himself just trying to attempt it, bro.
Pull his
Like
Nah,
hamstring.
that's actually one thing that
Oh,
Nico Ibanez has to his repertoire. He does not get hurt, and if he does, it's very little.
That is true. That is true. He is reliable in that sense. Not reliable in his
Skull
actual.
scoring.
Yeah.
fine. He would strike like he would miss that ball.
Bro,
Like swing
he's
and a
a
miss.
he's a big fan of the participation award.
Oh yeah. Absolutely he is. Now, for the moment we've all been waiting for, discussing the first match of the season against Juarez at home. Now, PSA for all of you who are watching and listening. Tigres can be seen on the following places in the United States. This is big news. Estrella TV, still a bit. Fox is still also technically under contract with us as well. And the newest addition to the broadcast partners is Telemundo. Now, some of these games throughout the season are only going to be on Universo, and some of them will be on Telemundo and Universo. And I think one game is on Peacock. This Saturday's game is on Telemundo and Universo, just so we know. So you have three places to watch Tigres. Whether you have YouTube TV or whatever, you can watch it on Telemundo, or if you want to watch it for the free ski and listen to Peyo, you can watch on Estrella.
Dude, that's so cool because I like Peyo Maldonado. I think the call on Estrella TV is very local. I think that's something that we haven't experienced as a fandom, um, at least in the States, right? And the Mexican TV networks, you had some of the local like broadcasters, like maybe they necessarily weren't Tigres fans, but they were definitely locals in how they called the games, like Toño Nelly, Aldo Farias, back then Mario Castillejos, rest in peace. Who else was very good about that, Alfred, in terms of calling? Obviously, Don Robert.
Yeah,
Uh,
I
and
mean
so
nationally, just those.
we kind of hadn't had someone that like, Peyo obviously
Sergio
leans.
Deep, Sergio Deep, I will
Oh,
say,
Sergio Rita at one
he,
point.
he also
So
came out of RG.
Peyo leans obviously because he's a Tigres fan towards being favorable, and the calling obviously also points out and criticizes, maybe not into the highest level because he's at the end of the day like he's a little biased. He is a fan, uh, but I think for me it's really cool that Telemundo is having it on because you get to hear Andres Cantor, one of the best to do it in the game, and it's impartial, so he knows there's obviously no attachment. He's obviously Argentine, so he'll have some attachment to the Argentine players on our squad. He'll speak great things and throw the flowers at Nahuel Guzman, Gignac, and our high key players. But also accessibility, right? Like Estrella TV is also sometimes can lag being on a platform and an app. Um,
And it's
it can
usually
be.
behind like 2 minutes
It's usually behind two
on your
minutes.
stream.
So I feel like Telemundo is a solid option, and I think that it's again good exposure for the brand. Many people who have access to watching it, so I think that that was a great move. I don't know how it came about, but great move to go on Telemundo.
Came out of nowhere. I mean, there was no indication of that until friend of the pod, John Arnold, uh, said something about it on his Twitter account last week that they signed us and they signed somebody else, maybe Juarez. Or, I don't know.
Well, and it makes sense, right? Because we're still on Fox Deportes in Mexico, right? I'm sorry,
Yeah,
in TV Azteca, who also sells rights to Fox Deportes, but I don't think.
and I think they're doing a lot of the games on Tubi this year too,
Yeah, which
which
also
that's huge because that's free in Mexico.
it has to do with Fox Sports, right?
Yeah,
Fox Sports owns Tubi, so obviously TV Azteca sells rights down in Mexico, but besides Estrella TV, who is streaming on an app, you need a network, and TUDN obviously is not going to buy it, but Telemundo is someone that could, stepped in. So
yeah,
I
You know
think
the
it's
way I see it, it's just it just adds to the competition of just like everybody who's not Televisa, you know, we're gonna make sure that we're showing Tigres, because you can't,
yeah,
that's me, that's great.
yeah.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. I think it's a great move.
Um, while I'm mentioning TV stuff, friends, also be sure to get your Apple TV subscriptions back in order because League's Cup is coming sooner than you think, and those games are only on Apple, except for the random TUDN cross-platform. So this weekend, Telemundo, Fox, and Estrella. I think next weekend the Toluca game's on TUDN, and then the League's Cup starts right after that. So Apple will take over from there. So get your crap in order. Let's talk about the game on Saturday.
Dude, if we score like if we end up winning like 3-0 or 4-0, you're gonna be able to hear Andres Cantor calling the goals, watching the highlights. You're gonna be able to hear
Yeah.
Pello Maldonado.
Uh
You're
huh.
gonna hear whoever is on Fox Deportes. I think it's John Laguna. You're gonna be able to hear Martinoli.
Martinoli.
bro. That's 4 people calling the game. That's awesome.
Yeah, love it.
Imagine it being Correa's first goal.
Yeah,
And
bro.
you
Oh,
have
come on now.
and you have
Ya me vi 11:45 p.m. in bed, little tipsy, watching the highlights.
no, retweeting every single tweet
See,
that talks about it.
the
Yeah, man. Love
overreactions
it.
would be
Four,
crazy.
4-1.
Okay, hold on.
All
We
right,
got.
yeah, you're
Hold on. Wait,
skipping
wait,
to
wait, wait, wait,
predictions. We
wait.
gotta talk lineup.
Let's predict the lineup first, and then we'll get to the score. Okay. Um, goalkeeper, obviously Nahuel. All right. Right back, Aquino, I assume. Um, even though I would like to have Chewy Garza start sooner than later. Um, at the back, well, this is the interesting thing. What are we going to roll with the formation that he was running last season? Because I know that he was running some different stuff in trainings recently and in some of the friendlies. Um,
4-4-2 until they bring the signing.
okay, so Purata, Joaquim in the back, and who's playing left back?
I think Chuy Garza is gonna come in
Chewy.
and left back.
Okay. Okay.
He
So I
Because
started
think
in the
I
friendly.
believe I may be wrong, but in the friendly, yeah,
He
that's what
started.
that was the
And
back line.
Angulo is out too, so that also takes away from playing with 3 in the back. And so I don't think he's comfortable with Purata, Joaquim, and Romulo playing as 3 center backs.
yeah. Yeah. Okay. In the midfield, in that line of four, ahead of the back four, Gorri,
Brunetta.
Bru. Yeah. Um, who plays on the
Honestly,
sides? I have
man,
no idea.
Alfred, you does he start Angel Correa off the rip, or does he play conservatively and plays Romulo and Nando with Brunetta ahead of them, Linus, Ociel, and Ibanez?
Bro, it's a home game. It's at El
Okay.
Volcan. The opportunity to have
Yeah, I get
Correa
it, bro.
in
I
the
get
first.
it.
I know. I just and he's ready. Like it would be different if we hadn't seen him, versus Morelia. If they're still taking care of him or whatnot. And it's not like this is a player that needs to adapt. Everybody needs to adapt to Correa. Not Correa needs to adapt to everybody else because Correa's talented. You know that. Everybody
No.
knows that. Pizarro knows that. So all you got to do is just plug him in. You just plug him in a position where everybody around him is already used to playing together in the build-up game, and now you just have a key player that's gonna facilitate a lot of the offensive attacks. So I don't see why not. I'm sorry, but I don't see Correa not starting
Yeah,
this
I
game.
mean, I could be convinced. I'm with you. I'm just thinking like, what he could, what he did in the friendly. Another week gone by. Okay, I'll buy in. So that means you start no true center defensive mid. You start Nando, Brunetta in the middle with Correa in front of them.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or what if we see a 4-3-3?
Okay.
Not following?
No,
I mean, what if we're seeing Gori, we're seeing Linus, we're seeing Brunetta, and then up top we got Correa, we got I don't want to say Ibanez, but it's probably gonna be Ibanez.
no,
Ibanez
Ibanez is definitely starting. He's a lock.
and Ociel.
So
I mean,
you
I'd be down with that.
okay? So you lost me one more time. Your 3 minutes. If they're playing 4-3-3.
So it's Gori in the middle,
Yeah.
Linus in the left, Brunetta on the right, and then at top you have Ociel, you have Correa, and you have Ibanez. I'm just being crazy, man.
I
Don't
think
listen.
I think if they play like that, I feel like Correa and Linus would interchange.
Yeah.
I
Yep.
think
Okay. So Correa further down? I don't know.
I mean I think I'm leaning more to it's a 4-2-3-1. That's what I'm leaning towards.
But
Nando
who would be your
Brunetta.
two? Nando and Brunetta. Brunetta as a center defensive mid.
That happened in the
I don't
friendly
know.
Yeah. I
Yeah,
said
I mean, obviously, but
he played as a deep line playmaker a lot
last
last
season.
season. So
yeah,
He talked about it at the press conference, being in that position and doing what he's been told to do. I think again, it comes down to he wants to play three. When he comes three in the back, that changes the game because then it doesn't really matter who plays in the middle. You have more support defensively. You have true outside wing backs with Rosales, starting there, and then Aquino Garza, whoever he decides to rotate those minutes. But I think to start the season, he plays four in the back, two in the midfield, and like I said, that's kind of why I lean towards the conservative aspect of playing Romulo and Nando, and then Brunetta, and then Correa coming off the bench, making the debut. Two double substitution with him and Gignac after being
Okay,
up.
but if you do play that 4, what is it, 4-2-3-1, right?
Mhm.
You could still use Romulo and Gorri, and also use Correa, because you could have Gorri and Romulo, right? And then in the three that you're talking about, you could be either whether it's Linus or Ociel, and then you have Correa and Bruneta, and then after Ibanez. So you could still use Romulo and Correa.
I feel like you threw an extra player in there.
Is that too many foreigners too?
Oh, I don't know. I don't
No,
know
it's
about
not because
that.
we don't have enough. No, I think you threw an extra player. You said Romulo and Gorri in the middle,
Right,
so that leaves you four players to play with.
right. So you got Ociel, you got Correa, and you got Bruneta, and then Ibanez.
Oh, no Linus. Okay, got that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I said Linus or Ociel,
Oh, okay,
Okay.
whoever he
Yeah.
goes with.
okay. I can lean towards that.
I don't mind the idea of Brunetta playing as a more deeper midfielder, especially now that Correa's around, because one of the things that frustrates me about Brunetta is that as somebody who has a reputation of being like somebody who provides goals, who scores goals, ever since he's joined Tigres, has he beaten anybody off the dribble? No. Do you think that Correa can? Yes. Then I'd rather have Correa do that in a more advanced role than Brunetta.
Yeah, because he's sneaky. Like he finds and he makes big spaces and small spaces.
Yeah.
And it's easier to plug in a player that just came in, is not so used to playing with everybody else. It's easier to plug him in an attacking position than to plug him in the center of the midfield.
Yeah, in a free role. Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I know you said Ibanez is probably going to start, and that's probably what's going to happen.
But I would love
But I
Gignac.
would love if Gignac started.
he's coming
Yes.
off the
Like
bench, bro.
if it was what I wanted, I would want Gignac to start.
Oh,
And
for
But I
sure.
just
he just
know
started. He
Ibanez is
just
gonna
started
start.
getting some minutes. He
Yeah.
hasn't played.
yeah.
He's not fully fit. He won't be
And
fully
that's
fit for a while.
and that's where that's the thing. That's what I was saying. I think it's a higher probability for Correa to be a starter than for Gignac to be a starter.
Yeah, that's easy.
Yeah.
I don't think there's question in that.
Yeah. Edgar, are there any crazy ideas that you have to that sort of lineup idea that we've formulated, or are you pretty settled with that?
No, I'm pretty settled with that. I don't know that there's any experimentation that should be going on.
I think the only doubt would then be Ociel or Linus. Who would you go with?
Ociel.
I would go to Ociel, but he's definitely picking Linus.
Yeah.
The scholarship.
It's in a bad spot.
I don't know. We're at home. Like, why would we be defending or worried about
No,
tracking
he's
back
definitely
against
going to be
Juarez?
aggressive. He's going to be aggressive. He has something to
Yeah.
prove.
Yeah. Everybody's got something to prove.
Yeah, I feel like Guido more than anybody though. The players already shown you their peak. No one's really getting better out of those young players. That you got everything that you want out of them. The only one that has upside and only has this because of its physical specimen is Ociel. Anybody else peaked.
Yep.
You're not gonna get more out of Linus. You're not gonna get more out of Marcelo. You're not gonna get more out of who else is young? Cordova. He gave you everything already. Like Ociel is the only one that could potentially have a breakout season.
Yeah.
So that means that the full responsibility of like figuring out and something to prove falls on the coach.
Score predictions, starting with Alfred, and then Edgar, and then me, and then Arnoldo.
Man, I was gonna say, conservatively 2-0, but Arnoldo got me excited, and then this whole lineup prediction. I'll go 3-1. I'll go 3-1. I'll give Juarez the benefit of the doubt and say that they can, pull an not an upset goal, but just like we'll have some kind of like unfortunate uh mistake in the back, and they'll put one on us.
Oh,
But 3-1.
you're already calling the Joaquin mistake?
No, not a Joaquin mistake.
Oh,
I'm
I
thinking
thought we
maybe
were.
like a Choi Garza or Aquino mistake, or
I thought we
just
were.
something happens.
I thought we were gonna start getting used to that Joaquin mistakes in the back.
No.
Jeez.
I have him in my fantasy football. Shout out to Andres football. He does the football stats. Forget what his name is on Twitter, but he created the fantasy football for the Liga MX, and I joined. So
Nice.
Bro, put a little plug in there.
we
Put
will.
Me?
put his handle on there.
All right, hold on. Let me look for it.
Oh,
I'll
hold
send it to
on.
you.
Threaker saying 3-0. Okay. Anybody else in the chat got a prediction? Drop them in the comments. Edgar.
I'm gonna say 2-0.
I like that. I came out
2-0.
swinging.
Remember, we were not exactly a high scoring team last season. So
But if there's any opportunity to do it, it's the first game of the season.
that is true. That is true. I'm going to say 2-0.
I like that. I feel like that's probably a more feasible result. I guess I'll have to bring down the energy. I'm going 3-1. I'm with Alfred.
Okay.
But if
Great.
it's
But I love that 4-1 idea, man.
yeah, I
That'd
know.
be great.
I even like the 3-0 score too to open up the season.
Rayful Golazo? Consolation?
Oh yeah,
bro.
absolutely.
Oh, my
Count that
God.
in. 3-1, fully full.
No.
Like an
Yeah.
Aquino slip, and then he's
Hombre,
wide
se
open to
cae
take
el
a shot.
güey.
Does Jurado still play for Juarez?
Oh, I don't
don't
know.
think so. I think he got moved elsewhere.
Oh really?
No idea. I couldn't tell you. I don't know that roster. Are we missing anything on the men's side?
Nah, dude. Hurry up. I'm falling asleep.
Okay.
Jurado is still in Juarez. Yes, he is. He played
LOL.
versus America.
My man ready to fucking get the canasta filled up.
That's crazy. Yeah. Okay. The big news that came out today, we have a Legends match happening in
Random.
Monterrey
Random.
on August
Very
31st
random.
against the Barcelona Legends. We don't know exactly all the names that will be back, but it sure does look like Rafael Sobis is going to make the trip up to Monterrey for that, based on the poster, and I think he even said something about it on social media. That's going to be happening. Yeah, Saturday, August 31st. Tickets are kind of on sale right now for like people with abonos, and I think the public on sale is later in the week. So,
I have a
thoughts?
question for you guys.
Yeah, sure. Go ahead.
So just real quick, each one of you, give me the one player you would like to see from each team. One leyenda from Tigres, one leyenda from Barcelona.
Ooh.
Ronaldinho Gaucho. And I mean, he was on the picture, so I'm going Lucas Lobos.
Sobis and Iniesta.
I'm gonna say Lucas Lobos and Xavi.
Ooh.
I have to go with Ronaldinho, and I actually saw Ronaldinho when Barcelona played way back when, at El Volcan. He actually scored a free kick goal against us, so I would be excited to see him again at El Volcan. And then from Tigres,
Messi was there too, right, Alfred?
Messi. So he was bench. He was a bench player, but he did. I believe he came in and he played like maybe at the end like 3 minutes or whatever or something. Maybe he didn't play. I'm not sure, but he was bench. He wasn't even like nobody even recognized him.
That
or
was
anything.
2007, right, Alfred?
I'm thinking 2006.
Yeah, it was 06. I saw something on Facebook that somebody posted a T-shirt, like a T-shirt from that game, and it was
We had
It
what?
was 06.
Tawilan,
I'm thinking it was 06.
Tawilan in the back.
Oh, that's who we're gonna have in the Legends for Tigres, Tawilan. No, yeah, I would love to see Luquitas Lobos again, man. Just want to see him again.
Palmera
Nice.
Rivas in the back.
Yeah, he's definitely gonna be in there.
Yeah,
Come on now.
him and
I
Juninho
think
are
we'll
gonna
definitely
score.
have Palmera, Juninho,
Yeah,
maybe even Hugo Ayala will come back from his
Piloto
family. I don't know.
Jimenez, Piloto
Yeah,
Jimenez,
Piloto.
We gonna get Palos to come play goalie. Or what?
Torrenilo. That's probably gonna be the starting back line.
It's gonna be the 2011 championship
It's
team.
it's gonna be Peyo's lineup in the back. Everybody's been at
Oh yeah.
Peyo's
False,
squad.
false. I mentioned Sobi Streaker. Pay attention.
Uh,
I said Sobi's.
Yeah,
Damian Alvarez, obviously.
yeah.
Luquitas Lobos,
Yeah.
Chobis, Rafa Chobis.
I think
Guerron,
Cacha still in Monterrey.
Libertadores legend Guerron. Anybody? Can you imagine?
I don't know. I
I
think
That would
just
he
be
had
think
a bad exit.
Edgar, is that game against Barcelona Femenil still happening? Or did it
My
fall
under-
through?
my understanding is yes, but I actually haven't seen a date for it, so that'll be an interesting one.
So
I read somewhere that is not gonna be a thing anymore.
so is that why this came up out of nowhere?
Could be.
Keep the energy.
I don't
Who's
know though.
going?
You gonna be down there?
Man, Priscilla mentioned it to me today, so that's a possibility. I'm gonna be there starting on the 8th through the 18th, so I'm gonna be there quite a bit. So I don't know. It just depends on where I'm at with my life,
So then we'll be at the Tigres versus America on the 16th.
dude. I'm just tired of traveling. I've been traveling so much the last 2.5 months.
You and me
The
both.
Habibi life.
Yeah,
Uh,
people are gonna think that I'm actually Habibi from the Middle East and the theater fan.
that's
Yeah, I thought it was random though. I mean, those type of games don't really excite me. And
Yeah,
then
I get what you're saying.
and then
It's
do
a big
they?
absence. It comes in the middle of a big absence of Tigres games because from from August 16th, which is the Tigres home game versus America, there's not going to be another Tigres home game at El Volcan until September 13th. So that's almost a month.
Oh wow,
So it's a good plug-in game right there on August 31st.
Yeah, facts.
whatever. Here
Don't-
for it.
don't mind.
Estrella TV will probably show it though.
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
I hope they do. Real quick before from the vault. Now that we've gotten all the leaks and all the official stuff, you mentioned it earlier. I don't know though. Before we even clicked record, with the away jersey. Let's start with the away jersey. Better than we anticipated. About what we thought. Are we gonna buy it? Are we not gonna buy it?
I mentioned to you guys before we started recording. Off the pictures that I got like put online and whatnot, I was like, absolutely not. I was there this weekend and I was like, ooh, I could be sold. I can be sold on it. I think the colors definitely in person looks a lot better than the image. I think the tone of the blue is not obviously it's not our traditional color like this polo or the little cup, but definitely very cool. Should I have been a third jersey? Probably would have aligned more towards it being a third jersey. What they released with the practice jerseys, incredible. Like I can't believe they released that as a practice jersey, and then we got this as a second jersey. But again, I changed my perspective once I saw it in person. So, am I going to get it? Probably closer to a year from now when they put stuff on sale. The guy when I went this weekend tried to like get me to buy the jacket, the inside out jacket. And he was like, "Oh, it's like half the price that it was normally." I was like, "Yeah, dude, I wish I would have waited." When I first came in, I saw it. I bought it for 5,000 pesos, and so really, really cool jersey. But I don't know if I'm going to be rushing to get it. I think that if I can recommend the away jersey, authentic player version, oof, chef's kiss.
Okay. Any other thoughts? I'm not buying it. I'm still holding to that opinion.
It is ugly, but I'm gonna buy it.
Got to get it for the collection, Dennis.
Yeah.
No, bro.
Like, it's just so ugly. It reminds me of those Jaguares Chiapas jerseys.
Oh, good one.
That's how bad it is, but it's like that's why I need it.
Ay, nombre, güey.
Hey, somebody said, "Hey, this is gonna be the first jersey, one of the first jerseys that Angel Correa wears, and maybe the last jersey that Guiñac wears." So,
Yeah,
you know,
I will
it's
say when Correa
legend.
wore it in his pictures, it looked good.
My man.
I was won over a little bit with Correa wearing it. We
No
still haven't
homo.
we correct. We still haven't seen the Guignac test though on that one.
Dude,
So
he hasn't worn anything.
he wore the home one.
Did he?
Yeah, and like his workout videos on Instagram.
Yeah, but not anything club related. I think he's beefing.
Nah, hombre.
No, you know what? I just think that for I still think they have to pay him like for his image. So like Tigres has no need to like posterize, Guiñac anymore. It's like they don't want to pay him. It's probably got a huge price
They
tag on just
gotta
to put
give
him on
you,
pictures.
you know how this goes. They gotta give the spotlight to my boy Pisuto, who's
Pizzuto.
the king of
Maybe
the
That's
we gotta
jersey.
run him.
That's what the guy at the Tigre Tienda said. He hasn't. They haven't put anything on him. Like nothing.
Hmm.
Interesting.
I mean, his on the Tigre Tienda website, his he's wearing modeling one of the jerseys. Like when you
Yeah,
try to order it.
you walk into the Tigre Tienda. All like, I think all the jerseys that have numbers on it are his. Like,
Yeah,
and there's a lot of them. They're definitely like pushing for sale of the
yeah.
jersey.
I'm getting that home one in the long sleeve for Shursky.
Yeah, excellent shirt, excellent jersey.
Now we need to talk about this Opa leak tweet that came out today. We've already seen this. Okay, I know my screen makes it look darker than it is. We've already seen this, and we've kind of already seen this.
Both dope.
Now this, sign me up. If it has pockets, even better. And this, I know Alfred's a huge fan of this one. I don't
Nice.
even know what the
Oh
front
yeah,
looks like, but just from
but
that
I'm getting
alone,
it.
I like
it
it.
it looks
I've gotten
great.
the last three white ones that have come out, just regular shirts. I'm getting that one too.
Yeah. Now we just need the Sambas to come out. I'm
Yes,
buying
Dude,
those immediately.
that's been
and
the
I think they're
greatest.
coming at the end of this week. I read somewhere that they were gonna come out at the end of this week. So get your wallets ready.
That's been the greatest asset to like merch the originals lines.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. Okay. From the vault. Lead us through it. Edgar, Alfred, one of you, somebody.
Alfred,
I'll
that's
do it.
Alfred.
Yeah, 9 years ago on July 10th, 2016, Tigres won their first Campeón de Campeones, and this was against Pachuca in a solitary goal
One
from
zero. Chuco
El
Sosa.
Cucho. El Chucho. Yeah, Chuco, Cucho. What is it? I forget. Yeah, Chuco
Bro,
Sosa.
I was there.
Oh, you were there? Okay,
Yeah, I was
nice.
there on the goal that got scored on. That's the only reason I remembered.
So yeah, so that's 9 years ago. Can't believe it's been that long. Obviously, we've had two other Campeón de Campeones since then, but that was our first one.
Bro, first
And
with three back to back to back.
yep. And then we go a few days further back to the 5th of July, and we have two remembrances, two great institution players and our institution just immortalized personalities for our team came on July 5th. 11 years ago in 2014 was Nahuel Guzman when he arrived at Tigres. And 48 years ago on July 5th, 1977, Carlos Milok arrived as a head coach for Tigres. So from the vault, great date.
Nice.
Oh man.
What
I
a
hear the
day.
name Nahuel Guzman and man, such an underrated signing. Obviously in hindsight, amazing signing, but such an underrated signing.
No, if we're talking about like people welcoming and anything, he was alone at the airport when he came.
Facts.
Like
Facts.
nobody showed up.
Bro,
Nobody knew. Nobody knew.
dude,
He
that's
was
like obviously I would love to, for the feeling of winning another championship, but he wins one and he literally becomes the most winningful
Goalkeeper.
keeper, yeah, in Mexican history. And then you add all his stats, like for minutes without being scored on, games without being
Games.
scored on, clean sheets, moments, penalty saves. Like, there's no question he's like arguably like even at that point, like top 5 player of all time, not even like at his position.
It's just we even have the neighbors are still trying to find their own Nahuel Guzman, man.
Yeah.
Facts. They even brought in a new kid, and that dude.
11 years later, they're still trying to find their own Nahuel Guzman.
Yeah, they bring in somebody new, and he immediately lets in 3 last night. Hilarious. You gotta love it.
I'm here for it, man.
Me too. Me too. Bendito Liga MX is back. Um, anything else before we go to sleep?
No, we're good.
I don't know. That's like, please end this now.
Yeah, I told you guys I was only staying for a little while, and I ended up staying like
Nambre.
40 minutes past my time that I said I was.
This is your show, so I mean,
Yeah, I appreciate you you leading. I think I like shooting versus
ahí
playing
va.
point.
Ahí va otra vez con este. Ahí va.
I would say I'm really excited for the league to be back. It's definitely very very exciting to watch the team again, have cookouts again, get emotionally attached to a team that you know controls part of our life.
Facts. Facts.
No, but I'm excited, man. It's always a great time to watch Tigres, and it's just something that's part of the schedule every week. And I am less active on Twitter, so I like to be now. I'm still waiting for the day that I log in, and I'm just surprised that we have a signing. So,
Yeah. Facts.
other than that, I do predict that we'll have a good season. Whether we'll win the cup, I think it'll come down to potentially 2 more signings. I think one gets us to be a bit more competitive. 2 signing gets us, to be a contender.
What did you
Agreed.
say last semester? No expectations. That's where I'm at.
Yeah, but I think there's a little bit more expectations this season than going into the last one with Pano.
That's fair.
You brought in Angel Correa. You got Guido coming in off of a preseason. There's still potential players to be signed, and it's now or never, right? Like it's time for Guido to shine, right? Is he up for it? Right? Like not saying that I'm going to be the one that's like, be criticizing like remove the coach, but definitely, it's his time to shine and we'll see in about, 8 games, 7 games to see where the level of play is and we'll make an assessment.
Okay.
Yeah, last season, when the season was starting, our great signing was Fulgencio. So
Yeah.
obviously, no
Facts.
expectation.
Facts. Edgar and I are probably going to get together for the game on Saturday. Very much looking forward to that. Should be a good
Shout
time.
out to Frank. I'll probably hang out with the Houston Tigres group they got. They usually get together and probably joining them.
Nice.
Yo, let me know. I don't think I'm doing anything for the game.
Come with.
He said,
Yeah.
pull up to the function.
Yeah, for sure. Definitely let me up.
All right, man.
Pull up to the function.
All right, y'all have a good one. Oh, I didn't show off the cup entirely, but
Yeah. Show off the cup while I sign
Nice.
us out. Thanks for being here, everybody. We're back on our weekly routine ish. Well, actually, I won't be here next week, but so hopefully somebody else will take care of
Yeah,
holding
I'll
it
step
down.
in.
Thank you, because I'm going back to work next week. But yeah, thanks for being here. We'll be back next week with a new episode recapping what happens this week. Follow us on all the socials at lautimes, and you can follow Alfred at Tigres Takes, Edgar at Double O Nation, me at my name, and all of our other homies. You can find them on the show notes as well. So, yeah, we appreciate you guys. Arriba la U, and we'll talk to you guys next.
Peace.
Arriba los Tigres.